Feliz Navidad, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Welcome to Extra Holes. I'm John Adams. That's Scott Dainsworth. And it's our last podcast of the year. We want to thank everybody that's followed us. And I'm wearing my little Christmas little outfit here for you, Scotty.
I wouldn't call it little, but it looks nice.
And chimed in and continue to keep up with Extra Holes. And we're just going to do a year in review. We're going to have a little fun, talk about what happened in golf this year. And then at the very end, we'll kind of put our picks together on who we think might have a good year in 2022. So today on the agenda, we're going to talk about this year's majors, the Olympics, the Ryder Cup, interviews that we had on the podcast. Good old Tiger and Charlie just ending the year with a wow, and then we'll do our picks, like I said. So, Scotty, anything that's on your mind right now for the podcast?
Well, first of all, I'll let you take a breath, and so Santa, I hardly call that sweater little, but it looks good on you, buddy. Santa Johnny. No, you know what? It's been another interesting year. It was nice to have the fans back. I'm excited for the next season, which is in 2 weeks. Is it a week or 2 weeks?
It's January 6th in Hawaii.
Okay, so it's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tomorrow. No, let's dive in, bud. Let's do our year-end wrap and look forward to next year.
All right. Well, we start with the Masters. Hideki comes out, wins his first major of his career, and does it at I think it was round 3 or round 4. He threw a number at him, and it was pretty impressive. And, the one thing that I got out of this is going to be quite interesting. I can't wait for the menu to come out on the Champions Dinner.
Oh, there you go. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So I thought it was great for golf. Golf is really big in Asia. He's huge in Japan, obviously.
Yeah.
But I thought just for having a Asian golfer win the Masters was just I thought it just helped golf tremendously in a year with pandemic issues where golf really boomed. I thought it was a lot of fun, and like you said, it was great to see fans back rooting them on.
Yeah, and especially in an Olympic year where the Olympics were in Japan, and he also won over in Japan. One of the Rolex events or whatever.
Yeah. The Zoo.
So he had a great year.
Zozo, it's called. Yeah.
Tiger won that a year ago.
Correct. Yeah.
Just saying.
So that was great to watch. And then Phil goes to the PGA and shows all the young guns that the Old Man River can still give it to him, and wins a great PGA championship at Kiawah Island.
Amazing story. At 51 or 50, whatever the hell it was. I mean, unbelievable. It'll be a carrot for Tiger to get back and get in rare form, and we'll talk about Tiger later. But yeah,
and that rejuvenated Phil too. I mean, he was he's always still wanting to go beat the younger guys, and I thought it was great because it was later in the year here when DeChambeau played Koepka, and that actually I think that was the event where this whole Brooksy thing started. Actually, that's where that interview happened. But where he sat down with the two of them and he was interviewing them both prior to going out there, and he just looks at him and said, "Well, if you're looking at the three of them, I'm the only one here that's won a major." I thought that was pretty kind of funny. So he's running with that. I mean, he took the PGA Championship trophy, the Wanamaker Trophy, with him like all the time when he played golf, and it rode shotgun in his golf cart. And good for him, because you never know if you're ever going to win a major again. So why not take it and run and have a good time with it? So so that's it. Then you go to the U.S. Open, Torrey Pines, right? Horses for courses. John Rahm, who's had success at Torrey Pines, reels the leaders back in on the last day, makes 2 clutch putts coming down the stretch, and wins the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. And I thought that was great also, because I think that's his first major, right?
For sure, yeah. It wasn't a question of if he was going to win a major. It was a question of when. And he's the world number one now, and he's fun to watch. I think what's happened is he's matured a little bit. He's reeled in his temper, not all the way, but I think he's learned how to deal with it. And so I think that we'll see more majors out of him in the very near future.
Now, becoming a dad has kind of mellowed him out also. I thought that was, he had his child right after, I think, the Masters, actually, little boy. Colin Morikawa goes overseas and wins the Open Championship. Just another stellar iron player who, I just think this is going to be one of many for this guy. He just doesn't get himself in trouble. And so, again, and then to add on to that, he's the first American to go over and win the race to Dubai, which was very, very impressive. Also, no Americans ever done that. So obviously there is more for him. I could see him winning many majors because of just the way he just golfs his golf ball. Very impressive.
Yeah, I think golf's in really good shape right now when you talk about Morikawa's and the Schauffele's and the Rahms and JT and Spieth. And I mean, the list goes on. Rory, don't even mention Rory. We haven't said Rory yet, So yeah. I think golf's in really good shape, and I agree with you on Colin. And he's fun to watch. He's easy to cheer for.
Right, there we go. We're in the USA hat. We also have we had the Olympics this year. Just real small on this. You had two Americans win that. You had Xander Schauffele. You had Nelly Korda for the women. I thought it was a little bit bigger for the women because the LPGA is somewhat demanded, not demanded, but pretty much a lot of Koreans, a lot of Asian players that are dominating that tour, and to have Nelly, who is in the top 5 in the world, come and win the medal along with it's helping the LPGA that we have an American girl in the top 5, and it's just gonna keep growing the sport there too. So that was pretty cool to watch too.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was really good to see her and her sister win on the tour this year. And it's healthy for golf. The LPGA, this isn't racist or biased or whatever, but the LPGA does need some American women to compete. I mean, it's just a product that they need to sell, advertising and have sponsors, and they need people like Nelly. So I was glad to see her be successful. It was fun to watch her in the father-son deal last week.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and it was classic because their dads won the Australian Open in tennis, and he was nervous as hell. Like he had to call his old coach just to go, hey, just talk me off the ledge here. I'm going nuts. So kind of fun. Then Stricker puts together a squad up at the Ryder Cup up at Whistling Straits in his home state of Wisconsin, and more or less goes out and dominates the European squad. And I think we're seeing now, some formulas here for the Ryder Cup program to hopefully take this and run with it. I have a couple theories that I think is going to happen. I'd love to get your input about it, but what do you think about that dominating win up there in Whistling Straits?
It was good to see. It was fun, beautiful golf course. As a matter of fact, it was just on. There's a repeat on Golf Channel today. I was watching some of it. So this hat, by the way, this USA hat is from the 2016 Ryder Cup at Hazeltine here in Minneapolis. Yep. And you were working for New Era at the time, and I was lucky enough to sneak under the tent and be part of that celebration. These were actually the hats. These were the hats that New Era had made up for the players, and so that was kind of cool getting that. But it was great to see the Americans win. I kind of felt bad for Padraig Harrington because I think he's a great guy, and they just got pummeled. Yeah,
they put a lot on Rahm's shoulders, and I think. And this is something I want to throw at you for the possible, are these going to be the analytics that they're going to go off of down the road where, Stricker at the last minute kind of shared with the PGA that I would like to have 6 picks. So to me, what that showed is they don't care where you are on the list. If your game is suited for that course, and your relationships are strong with those players that have made it, I have a feeling that you could be way down the list and jump a bunch of great players just because of the mesh and the mold that they want. So bringing up Scotty Scheffler, who plays a lot with DeChambeau out at Texas and has a great match play record. He had great He had a great little run there in Houston. I just think that that's what's going to happen because, I was told that Harrington was given that information saying, hey, do you want to go from 3 to 6, just like Stricker is? And he said, no, I'm fine. Well, maybe there was some guys down that list that could have been able to
what though?
that. So, I mean,
if and buts were candy and nuts, the world would be a better place. Then, hey, let's put it this way: the European team, your good buddy McGinley, has been pretty dominant. So they've had a pretty good formula. The American team was just more talented. That's just all there is to it. They were just more talented.
And isn't it if ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas?
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. But I have a feeling that this is the way that these organizations are going to think now, and these captains are going to think about more. I don't care where you are on the list. A perfect example would be if they're going to throw another golf course like like they did in France. Okay.
Yep.
Very narrow, very tight.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you have to go your Kisners. You have to go your Xanders or whatever. These kind of guys that are more about, keeping it in front of them and being grinders, right?
Yeah.
So where we went to a golf course at Whistling Straits, more bombers, that kind of thing. So I have a feeling that if you're a guy like Kisner down and you're there in the top 15 or top 20, and it's a golf course that's suited to your style, how do you not go pick the guy? And that's what I have a feeling these guys are how they're going to think. So, and Kisner's a good team guy. He's the guy that just wants to go off and tear your head off,
Kisner's a great guy. He's a guy's guy, and he's very well liked. And I'm fortunate enough to play down at the club where he lives at Palmetto down in Aiken. And he's a good dude. I would love to see him be successful, and the other guys there, Brownie and Neesmith. So, but I agree with you.
And I think we're in Italy. I think next go around. So and they haven't talked to in Rome, just outside of Rome. I haven't talked about any captains yet. So
well, I'd actually heard a rumor on the European side that they were actually going to tap the Vatican, and the Pope's going to be the European.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah. So we did something new this year. We had some interviews, which I thought were a lot of fun. We had Dr. Chris Sherman on, who is a traumatologist, and obviously talked to him after Tiger's accident in LA Hills and Palos Verdes area. And it was quite interesting to kind of get his take on how and what happens during a trauma accident. We did not relate this to Tiger at all. We just wanted to know what the protocol was on an accident and how it goes down. And one thing I did talk to him about off record or off the podcast was, one thing he said to me was, the good thing about Tiger is that he's going to have the best doctors, he's going to have the best rehab guys, and he's going to have the best information that's going to be given to him to get him back on track. And what do you know? He is on that track, and it is absolutely amazing how far he's come since February, to be honest with you.
I think if you'd have made a bet in Vegas 6 months ago or, earlier in the year after this happened, that he'd even ever, it was questionable if he'd walk again, and let alone to see him, he gutted it out for Charlie, but that was amazing. And I talked to so many people that aren't even golfers or whatever, and they followed that. So obviously, it's great for golf, and it's great to see him back. He's an icon. It's easy to say that.
And how do you like to be PNC, who gets 2.1 million viewers, and 2.3 on the last day? I mean, it's might as well just go into it. I mean, his kid's good.
Yeah,
his kid is really good. I mean, he's got cameras behind him. He's got people watching him. He's hitting 5 irons into like 5 feet. I mean,
it was amazing.
And you know what? I don't know if you saw the interview afterwards, but I mean, he finally came out and said, my kid's a good player. Like, I don't think he's ever said that before. Like, for him to say that, it takes a lot, but it sounds like Charlie's understanding what it takes to be a really good player and learning from his dad and when it comes to work ethic, because if it comes to work ethic, I mean, there's no better guy, right, than Tiger.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's, drinking the Kool-Aid that his dad drank, and I would love to see another Woods, young phenomenon taking it on. But
Yeah.
I was impressed. I mean, the shot he hit on 17 the last day,
I know,
nobody had been left of that flag at all, and he's 5 feet left.
He hits it right in there. That was a hell of a shot.
Yeah.
But my wish for him is that he grows up somewhat normal, and I think that's going to be next to impossible. But I can't imagine at 12 having that pressure. Can you imagine at 12 years old? I mean,
No.
Obviously he's had a little different upbringing so far than you and I had, but he's not going to be able to go anywhere without a camera on him probably the rest of his life. And that would be a daunting thing to think about, especially as he matures.
Yeah. And I would assume that he would push. I hope he pushes him to college. So I think that he's very strong on, he went to Stanford, so I think he's very strong on family and education. So hopefully that keeps going in the right direction. But yeah, I just go, but let's be honest, right? I mean, he's come out multiple days and said, I losing my leg was on the table. It was, and you could see him limping tremendously during that. And that guy, I think, has a pretty strong, pain threshold, I should say.
Yep.
I got to give it to him. I mean, and not just that, dude, he's hitting it like 300 yards.
I know.
It's unbelievable. So.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Absolute freak of nature.
It really is. And something that I think you and I can come out and say, it's been an honor to watch this kid grow in our, generation, to watch this success and damn, pretty awesome.
I'll never forget. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's just funny when Tiger first came out. I think it was Curtis Strange and a couple of the other guys, said, yeah, he's got a little bit to learn. They were kind of like saying he might have had some success as an amateur, but he's going to have a learning curve here. Yeah. How was that learning curve?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. A couple other things we did. We got to talk to a couple caddies. So talked to Joe Scovern. Joe caddies for Ricky Fowler. It was great to get the inside and the back end of what happens and how things go behind the scenes on the Ryder Cup. And, I think another thing that's good for golf. I hope Ricky has a great year next year and figures out the golf swing. So it helps golf out. And I wish those two nothing but the best. Ricky became a dad a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think. And so he's doing dad duties right now and probably cleaning up duties. I would really like to have him have another great year. So
me too. It's easy to cheer for Ricky and JT, those guys, and I hope he has a good year as well. And talking about caddies, it's interesting that JT's going to have Bones full time now, and it was interesting he caddied for him at that father and son. Yeah, well, I think it's one of those things they just got to get on the right. And the other one that's unique is Teddy, who left Bubba, is now on Scotty Scheffler's bag. Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's been a lot of shuffling of some caddies. So quite interesting to see what other new ones are out there. And talking about caddies, we talked to three legends out on the LPGA: John Colleen, Jason McDade, and Kyle Morrison. That was a fun little deal. John Colleen's probably been out there 30 plus years. Whose bag is he on now? He's on Lizette Salas's bag. Okay, and then Jason McDede's on Nelly Corda's bag. And Kyle Morrison, who's my old college roommate, my old roommate from when I was out there, is on Jessica Corda's bag. So three strong players. So, but it's great to get the sense of, it's kind of funny because some of those guys have actually caddied on Solheim Cups for both squads. So it's quite interesting to see how, you got to take your American hat off and put your European hat on for that week. But it was great to talk to those guys, and we're going to find some more people in golf to talk to. I'm going to venture out to talk to the mini tour guy, some other people that are important in golf, and
And maybe what I might do is I'm going to be going to the PGA show. I have to go to the PGA show this year.
Oh, okay.
And for one of my brands. And I'm going to try to maybe talk to maybe some CEOs, or not CEOs, but VPs or sales managers of some products. So talk to them also.
I've still got some good contacts in the business.
Yeah, you do. So
allegedly.
Yeah. So, but getting back to the PNC, the dailies, it was a nice little win for dailies. I know that there's been stuff that's out on social media going, I heard the dailies won. I never saw him hit a shot because everybody was showing Tiger shots. So
I know
it was kind of brutal that way a little bit, but I understand why. But it looks like John Daly Jr.'s got a pretty good little golf swing, and he's playing at the University of Arkansas. And so I know what, maybe you know this question. Answer this question. I thought that you had to be a major champion to be in that event.
I think that that's true.
Is that Santa?
Hello, Santa Claus? No, it was a damn robocall. Sorry, my office manager's off this afternoon. I thought I turned the damn phones off. I'll throw that over there. Get rid of it.
So
yes, I did.
But Matt Kuchar has not won a major, but he's won the Players.
So maybe that's how he gets in.
That's the only way he can get in, I think.
Yeah.
But it's great to see Trevino out there. God, Gary Player still knocking in putts and hitting shots like that. There was a great little video that was out on social media where Tiger was talking to Lee Trevino, and Trevino's kind of telling him how to hit these wedge shots to these back right pins, and how he puts his hands forward, and he just takes a hand straight across. There's no way the ball can move right. It'll just go dead straight. And it was just, I love to watch those legends of golf talking to, a legend of golf with Tiger. I thought it's great. It's probably the only time that these guys really get to really intermix and talk to each other.
Yeah. It's for me, it used to be at the end of the year, a honor that I'd maybe flip through the channels. And if there wasn't a good football game or college basketball game, I might catch a little of it. And I think everyone was glued to the TV. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
It would have been nice to see. I mean, it was a great story all around. It would have been fun to see either of those guys, Tiger and Charlie, chip in or at least make birdie on the last hole.
Yeah.
To force the Dailies to make a birdie.
Yeah. I know that you had on the agenda, and I didn't know. It's gotten a little quiet, but the Saudi Arabia tour.
Yeah, it has gotten quiet, and I think that's maybe Monahan and the PGA Tour doing a good job of trying to, the tough thing is there's so much money over there, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think it's going to fly. I don't.
I don't. And they give these guys a lot of money to come over and play. But I got to think, if I'm a Monahan, right? I got to say, Scott, you're more than welcome. This is a free country. You want to go over there and play, go right ahead. It's okay. But you're not going to play on this tour if you go there. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're taking my stars away from my tour and paying them a lot of money to go over there, and they're money hungry and they're going to go, why should I let them come back? Now, again, a major, a Masters, that's not part of us. That's you're part of the deal. You've won the Masters. You can come back. U.S. Open, I would assume there's something there, right?
PGA, well, the USGA. So
for the PGA again, the other, all these major other than the TPC at Sawgrass, these are kind of all invitation only. So if they wanted to bring them back, they could. But my regular tour events, I wouldn't allow them back.
Yeah, it's interesting when you start talking about the majors. Talk about a guy like Fred Ridley, who's the chairman at Augusta, right?
Yeah.
He used to be the head of the USGA, right? So there you've got two tournaments that I'm sure that he and Monahan are buddies or whatever, but there you've got the possibility of Ridley having, obviously he's got all the influence at Augusta, but I'm sure he still has some influence with the USGA. So I don't know it's going to happen in our lifetime, but it's going to take somebody to jump ship big, like a Rory or somebody big, to go over there and jump ship. And my guess is if they did, it would end up in court at some point in time.
Yeah.
because if the PGA stipulates that you have to play 15 rounds and Rory or whoever plays 15 or not rounds, 15 or 20 events, and then chooses to place them over in Saudi Arabia, I don't know how that's, to me, that's a slippery slope of, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't give it that much thought. I don't lose sleep over it. I'll tell you that.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, we're coming to an end. All the funny money, all the funny tournaments are all over with. We're looking for a Christmas and a Happy New Year. And it starts on the 6th. And so we look at possible guys that, now look, we're not going to talk about the Roms and the Morikawas and the Justin Thomases. These guys are pretty much stapled in that they're probably going to have a pretty good year. I'm looking at guys down the road that, are up and comers that you think are going to play well this next year. So I'll give you the first shot. See who you like.
Well, one of the guys I like is Scotty Scheffler. I think Scotty is getting to that next elite type status, and he's another guy that's easy to cheer for. So he would be one that comes top of mind. How about for you?
I had him down also. I'm going to go with Sam Burns. I think Sam Burns is going to continue to keep playing well. He won a couple times and just a strong player. And so I have Sam Burns as one of my guys that continue to. And when I say this, like, these are guys that possibly could contend in majors. So. Yeah.
And you throw out like an Abraham Answer. I think he's had some success. Corey Connors had Corey Connors from Canada, another fine young player. It's amazing to me, and I'll signal my turn, but it's amazing to me how hard it is for anybody to get on the tour now. I mean, it's hard for someone to get on the Corn Ferry Tour. I mean, the amount of stages they have to go through to get on a tour nowadays is incredible.
But I think the tour has done it right, because I think they did their statistics and they looked at their statistics. And I remember back in the day, like, there are guys that could get hot, in those month and a half, right, to 2 months, and get their card, and then never make a cut or just barely make any money on the tour, right? And now they have this Corn Ferry, which is a great graduational tool that they have that, takes the top 25 guys, and these guys are tournament ready, and they kind of have floated back and forth onto the tour and back. So when they graduate, I think it's a nice graduation. But I've been playing a tour that's a solid tour. That's the AAA of the PGA Tour, and I think it's a great little stepping stone to the tour.
Excuse me. Somebody else, Santa Claus, that we haven't said one word about, who, when I say his name, you go, oh, how about give me a little something for Victor Hovland? Oh, Santa Claus.
Victor Hovland, I think, he's going to continue to keep growing. And Patrick Cantlay is the same guy. He's going to keep growing, But a guy that I also have that I think is going to win next year, maybe something substantial, Taylor Gooch. He's a good little player. Gooch, he's a good player. He plays very consistent golf.
Right.
The other guy I had down here who won late, Lucas Herbert, Australian guy. Good player. I think he's going to continue to keep growing on the tour and be a staple out there. And the other guy I had down is Joaquin Niemann. I think he's another one that's a consistent player that's going to continue to keep growing on tour and win more. So those are the kind of guys that I had down. But is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Scotty?
What about the majors next year? Obviously, Augusta's Augusta. The players in March, Augusta in April. Then the PGA's at Southern Hills in Tulsa. The Open is at Brookline, and then, or the U.S. Open. Then the Open is at St. Andrews. Do you see Tiger playing in any of these? All?
I don't see Tiger playing at all this next year. Actually, I do. He'll play in the PNC next year.
Okay, I'll bet you whatever friendly bet that we're going to have. So when I see you in Palm Springs in February, that will be collectible. It'll be a cocktail of choice or two.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you he plays in at least one major, and it'll be, if he only played one, I think it would be at St. Andrews, because it's flat, it's the home of golf, it's history. I mean, it's something for him to set his sights on. I'm not.
Well, I hope I'm buying you a drink. I really do. I hope you're buying a drink. But I look at things. Just walking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's even before you even tee it up, right? And I know he'll do 9 holes on the front, 9 holes on the back. He'll keep it kind of, but it's just a lot of walking. So again, that's what, August though. So you got 6 months, 7, 8 months to do that. But
yeah,
I don't know. And you know what? He can get away with it there. It is not that long of a golf course. So I could see that. Right.
Right.
I'll tell you, Augusta is going to be really hard for him because that is just like that.
I wish that he could. I wish he would play the Masters, but I mean that for a healthy, in shape person, that's a hell of a walk. So I agree with you.
And you got a good point here because the U.S. Open, if he sprays it, he's out of the rough all the time. Like he's not playing enough golf, right, to go into a U.S. Open. And I've never seen Brookline. Have you? I don't know. Is that where they had a Ryder Cup, right?
Yes, that's where Justin Leonard made that bomb, and that was the Ben Crenshaw.
Actually, I think this shirt was a little bit better looking than the shirt that he was wearing when he made.
I agree, but that's what Ben Crenshaw said. He had a good feeling. I got a feeling.
Feeling about this. And where's the PGA again?
Southern Hills in Tulsa.
Southern Hill. That'll actually be good. I think that's got some hills in it too, so I don't see that being anything. But
really? Southern Hills? It's got some hills? Oh, hey.
It's
got sharp as a bowling ball.
No, actually, well, let me tell you, I caddied this year in the U.S. Senior Open, and I thought it was in Nebraska. I heard it was the flattest place in the world. It was the hilliest damn golf course I've ever seen in my life. So
what's interesting, and we don't have to dive way into it, but who's trick question? Who's the biggest draw in golf?
Tiger.
Okay. Remember when Casey Martin was trying to get the medical deal to play on the tour? Another Stanford guy, right?
Yeah.
Because of his leg, right? Because of the disease he had, whatever. I mean, I'm just going to throw this out there. If I'm Jay Monahan or I'm, boy, you're kind of looking at that cart rule for a medical and trying to figure a way to get Tiger on the golf course. Well,
and that question was asked in a press conference. He goes, "No way. I'll never do it."
Yeah.
That's just him.
You never say never.
No, I know, but he wouldn't. I don't think he'd want to do it that way. I wouldn't want to win a tournament because I'm riding in a cart. I just don't. And I'm sorry. I just think that's the way Tiger thinks. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it everywhere. It's going to be as fair as it with everybody.
All right, I'll give you that. I won't bet you a drink on
but
that.
I could see your theory, but to him, and I haven't looked at the schedule, but what is prior to St. Andrews? Like, is there another flat golf course he could get around? Because he's going to want to play maybe a couple tournaments before that tournament. So now you're not just asking for that 1 week. You're probably asking for 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. So, but
if we'd have bet after the accident that he was going to play in the PNC, nobody would, myself included, no one would bet that he was going to play this year. No chance.
Because I heard rumors that ankle was shattered and shot. So crazy.
Well, this next year ought to be interesting. Without getting into the new Omicron variant and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's real. It's going to affect play overseas. It's already affected the hockey team's not going to go to the Olympics. And Grant Fuhr, by the way, you had Grant Fuhr on this year.
Him. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, Frizzy.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see because this last year was so good for golf with the fans. I hope that we don't take another step backwards this year.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Scotty. If I don't see you or talk to you, I'll see you next year.
Yes.
And to everybody out there, we really appreciate you joining in and listening to us talk a little golf. And I look forward to more of these next year. And wishing everybody a happy holiday season. And be safe, be healthy.
Agreed, Johnny. It's been a fun year. It's been a fun ride. Thanks again to the people that have put up with us, our fans that have been listening. And I will say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'll say Happy Holidays, but I'll also say Merry Christmas to you and Lisa.
All right.
And to your little four-legged friend who's probably Sir Walter. Is he there?
He's Walter. Yeah. Walter, come here.
This is your first Christmas with Walter, isn't it?
Yes.
Nice.
There he is.
Walter, say Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas.
All right, John. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right.
Enjoy it.
Take care of yourself.
All right, you too.
Cheers. All right, bye-bye.
Say bye.